exercise gear. Woo-hoo. I personally see exercise as a gift to your body, to yourself, to your self-worth. I think there's nothing more empowering than trying to enhance and improve your physical state. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope all of you are doing well. It's such a pleasure to be back on here. It does feel very bizarre not being active on YouTube, so my apologies guys if you were awaiting any more uploads and things like that. Right, so today is going to mark the final episode of my mental health series. I should be upset, because I grew so attached to this series, but I am more than happy to let it go now. I think I've been going on about it for a little bit long, and I think I'm happy to part ways with it. Equally, this is a way and a means for me to say goodbye to this chapter and open up a new chapter, a new episode, a new phase in my life. Today's episode will delve into the final 3 points of my mental health series, and today's focus is going to be on exercise, your environment and prayer. So stay tuned if you guys are interested. Right, so how does exercise, how does prayer and how does your environment have an effect on your mental health? Well, first of all, let's look at point number 1, which is prayer. Now, as Muslims, one of the ways in which we anchor ourselves in the world, one of the ways through which we stay grounded, through which we attain our spiritual nourishment and growth, is the divine connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through prayer. Now, for someone who's anxious, depressed, feeling just really, really low and mentally distressed, the last thing we look forward to doing is establishing our prayer. Now, I have personally found that whenever I make sure that I tick off all of my 5 prayers in the day, that's when I feel the most fulfilled. And to be honest with you, I feel absolutely invincible because I feel Allah's presence. I feel like I have Allah on my side. And usually when you are struggling or experiencing some kind of anxiety, that's because you're fearful. You're fearful of people, you're fearful of the impression you'll make on people, and you fear being in crowds or how people will perceive you. But when you have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on your side, you'll feel like you're the boss of your life and you've got your stuff together. And I think that's why keeping on top of your prayer will ensure that you have the aid and the help and the support and reassurance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on your side. And when you've got God on your side, you can have an army of the whole world gather and try to do you some type of harm, but none of it will reach you as long as Allah does not will it. So I think that if you keep on top of your prayer, especially through dark times, and I'm talking through your episodes of depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, etc., when you're literally drained of all your energy, I think prayer is what keeps your soul alive. And if your soul feels alive and content, trust me, that will have an effect, an impact on your mental health. And trust me, anxiety, that thing is going to go out the window. If you keep your relationship with God intact and to the best of your ability, Allah's going to take care of all of your other affairs. He's going to put them in order for you. Trust me, guaranteed. And another thing I wanted to mention, guys, now for those of us who feel guilt or feel incapable or feel so little and unworthy and just aren't satisfied with their performance or their picture or the way they see themselves in Allah's court. Some of us, we think that we're not a good Muslim, we think that we're sinners. I mean, we all are. We all are. But what I'm trying to say is, just because you've missed one prayer, just because you've not been able to wake up for another, just because something has come in the way, Allah knows you're struggling. But what's more important is that Allah knows you're thriving. And trust me, I think that is one of the most important things in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A lot of us say that, oh, just because I don't wear the hijab right means I just need to take it off altogether. Or just because I don't pray 5 times a day, I just pray once or twice, that means I just need to completely and utterly, let prayer out of my life. Like erase prayer out of my life. No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would rather that you took tiny, minuscule, mini steps towards Him, even if it is in the form of like one prayer, a week or something. I know that when you're struggling with mental health, it's really hard to see yourself as good. It's really hard to see yourself as worthy. It's really hard to see yourself as anything but low. But trust me, once you have those things that Allah has asked you to do, which are obligatory upon you, and you've done them, you will feel a great sense of accomplishment and fulfillment, and you'll feel so self-assured and content, and there's no better feeling in the world. Another thing I wanted to tie to prayer is the Quran. I think having a relationship with the Quran, even if it is like reading 3 small verses a day, really has a long-term impact on your success and your happiness as a Muslim. Try it, and then come back and tell me how you feel. This is something that's going to add light into your life, and it's going to open up doors for you. Trust me, that's another means to connect yourself to Allah. And anything that will allow you to connect yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a means to your happiness. It really is. Okay guys, point number 2. So point number 2, I am super passionate about, and that is keeping your space, the environment that you inhabit, clean. Your environment and your space is a direct reflection of your mental state. Now let that sink in. They say that whatever you're feeling on the inside is going to be translated, manifested, and reflected outside of yourself. So if your space looks like a dump, if your space is, covered with, clothes, rubbish, things that aren't meant to belong in that space, it's all clutter. And we've got enough clutter going on here when we are mentally distressed. We don't need any other kind of physical clutter that's just going to weight you down further. And of course, making sure that your pillowcase cover is nice and clean, because as we know, our hair and our face produces sebum and oils which are going to rub on your face, causing acne and so forth, and we don't want that really. As well as keeping your duvet covers nice and refreshed and renewed and cleaned. That's always a beautiful feeling. Another thing that I've started to implement is to go through my wardrobe every month and see the clothes I no longer need, and I just give them away, because the less you have, the lighter you'll feel. For me, that's like an everyday ritual. I do not leave my room before work until I have sorted it out. And I'm talking bed, I'll quickly brush the floor, bedroom floor, I'll tidy up things that are out of place, I'll make sure that clothes are folded and put away. And this ensures that when I come back from work or from going outside or anything like that, and I come back to my room, I feel a sense of serenity, space that's put together, that's organized, and that the energy it gives off is one of peace and tranquility, and it feels like home. For someone like myself who's got a lot of thoughts and my mind is always on overdrive, for me it's super important to have my space looking nice and presentable and as free of things as possible, as well as making sure that my space smells lovely, hence why I use these amazing fresheners. Also, it's scientifically proven that scents and fragrances have a good effect on your mood and mental health. Final point is exercise. Now that's something that has been ingrained within me from me being a young child. Considering this is like, another lockdown in the UK now, what I've started to do is, because I can't go to the gym anymore, I just work out at home, and it's one of the best things I've done for myself. I just follow workout challenges from YouTube. There's plenty. One really kind of famous one is like Chloe Ting's kind of workout challenges. I think hers are brilliant. Also, I have to mention that I don't usually work out in such tiny spaces. I had no other place where I could record, so just bear with me on that. Of course, I do not need to go into details about the kind of chemicals that your brain releases when you are moving your body. It's just so good for you. It really long term helps you with, you know, defeating and erasing laziness, lethargy, your body feeling sluggish and just drained of energy. I've noticed that the more I allow my body to move, the more the pent-up energy within us that sometimes is not being used can be released. Recently I've been exercising quite intensely, and I've noticed that it's helped me feel a lot more energized and happier and more focused. It's helped with my appetite and so many other things. So that's something I would really urge those of you guys who are struggling with mental health at the moment, have and implement some degree, some form of exercise in your day-to-day life, even if it is half an hour, 10 minutes a day, anything like that, that will help you move out, come out of the rut that you are currently in. Speaking of exercise, I'm currently in my exercise gear. Woo-hoo. I also wanted to mention that I personally see exercise as a gift to your body, to yourself, to your self-worth. I think there's nothing more empowering than trying to enhance and improve your physical state. You know, the more you work on yourself, the more you tone a certain part of your body, the more you get rid of toxins and unwanted fat, for example, the more, you know, lighter you will feel in your body, because this is a shell you need to look after, just like we look after our souls. The body is also a trust from God, and the more we look after it, the more fulfilled and proud we will feel in our appearance. And there's nothing wrong in feeling happy and satisfied in the way you look. I think, if anything, a person who's confident about the way they look is infectious. It's a beautiful thing to witness. So if there's anything you can gift yourself in 2021, I would say, is to look after your body. It will thank you and it will repay you down the line, you know, when you get older. You'll look at yourself and you'll be proud at all of the hard work you've put in. You know, be consistent about it, not just once and then you've left it for a few months. Do something tiny and you'll see the result of it on a long-term basis. Alright guys, so I just wanted to thank you all for sticking by, and I hope this video was useful to you guys. I think I will terminate my mental health series here. I mean, I might revisit it in a few months' time, in a few years' time, Allahu A'lam. But I just wanted to say that it's been a pleasure to share everything that I've been able to collate and experience, you know, through my own struggle with mental health. So I hope it's been beneficial. I hope this series of 4 or 5 episodes has been effective. I hope you've been able to implement at least one of the tips. If you have found it useful, please let me know in the comments below, and I will soon be starting off some very interesting videos which will be a little bit more different than, you know, these heavy and intense kind of topics that I've been talking about for a while now. So yeah, until next time, أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May God's peace, blessings and mercy be upon you all guys.